Hey, one more thing before you go. Don't go away. This is Over the Teacup Sunday with Michael and Diane. And this week we're going to talk about A Christmas Carol, reinvented and brilliantly done by two of our favorite actors, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. We watched the show last night. It was released November 18th, and we can't wait to share a little bit of it with you. Disclaimer, we're going to try to not give away any spoilers, but be aware that we may slip some spoilers in. So, if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to watch it and then come back. If you're willing to take a chance, then we're going to help you out. We're going to give you enough to keep you intrigued and to tune into Apple Plus. I'm your host, Michael Hurst. I'm here with my lovely wife and co host, Diane.
Hello, happy Sunday.
Welcome to One More Thing Before You Go Over the Teacup Sunday. Hey, are you excited about this conversation? I am.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
I've
It
been
was
waiting
it
for
was
this movie for, I don't know, ever since I saw the first trailer,
yeah,
about a month ago.
yeah. It's it was what it turned out to be was unexpected for me. So I was happy about that because
Yeah, it.
I wanted to watch it just because of who was in it, but I thought, oh, this story again. Like seriously, but uh, I think people will be really surprised of the angle they took.
Well, yeah, I mean, Bill Murray, when he did Scrooge, obviously took it into a different kind of realm, so to speak, from the old-fashioned one, and that was great.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
movie,
yeah, and I'm not really sure that it's really been done very effectively since Scrooge.
right?
They may have tried a couple of them, but this, I think, really beats it. I think it's really. I was extremely happy the way it turned out. I had high expectations for it, and I think it worked out really well. Let me tell everybody about it. So, Spirited is on Apple Plus, and basically the premise is each Christmas Eve, the ghost of Christmas present, Will Ferrell, selects one dark soul to be reformed by a visit from three spirits. In that part is kind of the same old story, but it's got a unique twist to it. But this season, he picked the wrong Scrooge. Clint Briggs, Ryan Reynolds, turns the tables on his ghostly host until Present finds himself re examining his own past, present, and the future. For the first time, A Christmas Carol is told from the perspective of the ghost in the hilarious musical twist on the classic Dickens tale. From director Sean Anders, he did Daddy's Home, Instant Family. It was written by Sean Anders and John Morris with original songs by Oscar winners Benji Pasek and Justin Paul, who did La La Land. The choreography is fantastic. And
It really
production numbers choreographed by Chloe Arnold, The Late Late Show with James Corden. That's why I recognize that. From all the thing where he does, he does all those sidewalk.
yeah. When they go into outside the studio and they
Yeah.
stop traffic between the, what do they call it? They do it
Uh,
between the,
uh, is it
is it
side
stoplight?
stoplight
Something
stoplight theater or
good.
sidewalk or crosswalk theater or something? Yeah. Anyway, this modern retelling is a sweet and spicy holiday treat. And as I said earlier, it stars Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, Octavia Spencer, which is really kind of unique, Sunita Mana, and Patrick Page. I have been waiting for this movie since the first trailer that came out. This is a fantastic casting opportunity between Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. What can go wrong? Everything went right. I think that the opportunity for these two brilliant comedians to be in the same film together. They just played off of each other, they complemented each other, and it really, really, really worked. I think Spirited is one of the best new Christmas movies out. We've still got to go see the new Christmas story, the follow up to the Christmas story, what, 30 years later, 40 years later, something like that, with the kid in there grown up. But in the meantime, Spirited is one of those movies I think that you're really going to add to your Christmas movie list every year. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was just going to be the same old story, with great actors. I mean, I'll watch anything with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, um, and the two of them together. I don't know if they've ever done anything together besides this, but um, yeah,
Chemistry was
it
great.
and it was interesting that it was a musical too. I mean, obviously Scrooge was not a musical, so uh, that was kind of new for me too. I know you kind of you're more about the musicals than I am, but I liked it a lot, and I thought the choreography was great. And I remember seeing an interview with Ryan Reynolds where he was uncomfortable with the song and dance part of it because it's not really something he'd done before. But I thought he did a really good job.
I think they both did, actually. I think that both Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, they don't have the best singing voices,
No, but they're good. They're
but
for what it was great.
very appropriate for what it was. I think that you're going to find that the story, I love I mean, it's got twists that we will not give away. But in reality, the fact that it kind of shows a behind the scenes um, situation where it's like
Hard to
um,
say, hard to talk about it without giving it away.
well, yeah, I'm trying to do it the right way. So it's almost like when we watch the Santa Clauses with uh, are you kidding me? I forgot his name. Tim
Tim
Allen.
Allen.
Wow. It's one of those Sundays, folks. It's sort of like the Santa Clauses with Tim Allen, where you kind of got behind the scene look at the North Pole and what happened and what takes place and how everybody interacts. And we're going to have a little family they are. Well, this kind of presented it from that side of it as well. So you get to see the behind the scenes efforts of who they pick and why they're trying to redeem souls and
Why they decide who they haunt.
yeah, well, exactly, and who they haunt, and it just kind of it's one of those I think that for me, I felt that that was kind of unique because it got the frustrations, the uniqueness, the humor. Everything is involved with this little family behind the scenes. It's got the four main characters, Death, who is voiced by
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan. Um, Obviously, the actor that plays him is much taller than Tracy
Yeah.
Morgan, but the voice it, of Death is Tracy Morgan, which is kind of unique. Uh,
Well, I don't know. They call him Death in it. He's the ghost of Christmas future. He
yeah, but yeah, I think it's a combination of both. He's Death and the Ghost of Future because he, well, in all the Scrooge movies, he said, "This is you. You're going to end up dead."
right,
And he's
right.
pointing all the time, and there's some little frustrations that comes out, which I think are kind of funny
Yeah,
in regard to that. But it opens
it was
up
it was a good movie. I think it's definitely a every Christmas watching movie for sure.
sort of like Elf,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it really we've always known Ryan Reynolds to have that kind of a dry humor.
Mm-hmm.
He's right on the border where he could be really, really, really funny or just subtly funny, and it works for him.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him in Deadpool, especially in Deadpool, and it kind of brings the same kind of personality to this. So we've expected that. With Will Ferrell, we're used to having him over the top,
Mm-hmm.
and here he wasn't quite over the top, but there was just enough.
Yeah, he was more subdued than what is in a lot of his movies. But it worked for what they needed. It was great. He does a lot more, I guess, serious stuff in this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
reality, because what you get this again, we're not going to give as much away, but in reality, there's a love story in depth in here, and it when you hear that there's a love story, you may think of one thing, but it's going to turn out to be something totally different than what you
Mhm.
would expect.
Okay.
Well,
I
we're
guess
talking about one character in particular, okay, that has been doing this job for like 200 years,
right.
compared to present day. I mean, there's a couple of jokes in there, and I'm not giving this away because it actually is in one of the trailers. He's excited that the possibility exists of utilizing indoor plumbing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, you know, there's a few more surprises in there that really fit into this part of the love story aspect that you would never expect coming from the storyline. So yeah, I think that so he was very serious. There was some dramatic moments. There were some very serious moments, but there was also subtle humor on both sides of it. A lot of singing, a lot of dancing. You know, that kind of a thing. In fact, Apple was kind enough to provide some stuff for us. This scene,
Great. Yeah, that was a great number. The choreography in this movie is almost its own character.
oh, 100%.
It's,
It is. I mean,
it's
obviously, yeah. Between this number, all the numbers actually, the choreography and the dancers are a brilliant aspect of this whole show, and you would never expect this to be a. Hang on, let me get you another show. You would never ever expect this to be a musical,
yeah, um that was very different for me.
but they made it work.
And that scene right there is when they're looking at deciding who they're going to haunt next.
Yeah, and
Because
you notice that some of these characters are modern day dressed, and some of them, a couple of them, are actually dressed way back
oh
in Scrooge time. What,
yeah, that's
1800s?
all we're going to say.
Yeah, that's all we're gonna say. 1800s, somewhere around in there. So you still get characters that are listed like this, but you know, to me, I mean, I think the movie was a couple hours long.
Yeah,
In reality, I think that the 2 hours went by pretty quickly. Actually, it kept you enthralled. Did it keep you enthralled?
yeah. I mean, okay, so it was late, and I typically fall asleep in movies anyway.
Yeah, and here's a
There were
musical you did not fall asleep in.
Well, no, I did, but it's because we had already seen the number, the major musical number that happens with the two of them. We had seen it on something else. I can't remember what we saw it on.
There's a trailer that they put out, or it might not have been a trailer, it might have been a promotional piece that
But they
they put out.
showed
Yeah,
most of that already.
yeah.
Um, I was tired, so I did fall asleep. I noticed for like a couple minutes, but that was only during that. So
Well,
I
usually, yeah, because usually action movies you're definitely asleep.
I sleep through action movies.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a problem.
absolutely asleep during.
The fire and the bombs and the loudest part of a movie, of an action movie, I will be out like a light. I can't explain it. I don't
It's just.
understand it. It is. We need to accept it and move on.
Well, you did intend this, which is a good thing. So, what is anything in the movie that you can say was your favorite, even without giving anything away? Something that was really something that one of your favorite parts of the movie.
Gosh, um, I don't. I love the whole thing. I can't. I don't know. Give me a minute. I'll see if I can remember something. But again, I'm really worried about being a spoiler. I don't want to spoil it for other people.
Well, I think my one of my favorite parts in it is when, I mean, obviously, even the title can tell you that Ryan Reynolds kind of turns the tables on
Mm. Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Well, I almost said his
Say-
real name,
Don't say it. Don't say it.
but he turned the tables on Will Ferrell, which is, you know, I think in that the first time he did that, it was like, oh yeah, what a nice twist. Here's this big scary ghost going, oh, I'm going to tell you this, and you need to watch this, and you're going to learn a lesson from this. And then Ryan Reynolds comes
He,
back and goes, no, what about you? Let's talk about you. No, 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 no,
I
no. You need to listen.
but I would say, I don't know if it's like a favorite part or anything, but something that I was feeling throughout the movie is that there were certainly overtones of what's happening in society today and in politics.
Yeah, I think that from
I think that
yes,
they really made sure that they sort of, made reference to a lot of what's happening in today's political climate.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree with
that
that.
was, I thought that was really interesting, and I saw it throughout. It was like the theme throughout the movie um, was sort of showing both sides of what's going on today and how I don't know.
That, more or less, it was very, very difficult to pick somebody that needed to be redeemed
Yeah.
based upon society today in the number of individuals and or people who are at that stage where you could say, well, can we redeem you, or are you just a lost cause piece of,
Are you unredeemable completely because we're not going to waste our time with you?
we're not going to waste our time. Exactly. So I think, that comes into it too. But, there was a lot more musical portions of it. I know they were advertising it as musical, but it surprised me that there was so much music in it. But the
Yeah.
music was not over obtrusive.
No.
You know what I mean? It was
No.
like just the right amount. At certain times, music would start up. In fact, there were a couple of times the one of the other characters was kind of going, "No, no, 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 we don't
We
need.
don't need it.
This is not a time for a song."
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, and they look at him
and they
like, "Yeah, it is."
and they didn't put that particular song in there. They literally didn't put it in there after the character said that, and it's probably for time because then you see that during the ending credits. You see that entire song and dance number, and it's long. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
I
that's the
can
other
see
thing. Yeah, you need to watch it all the way. They do.
through.
We've been around the entertainment industry for a long time, and we, as everybody knows that has listened to us or watched us, we are entertainment fanatics. So when I say this portion, they always put little teasers in movies lately where you have to watch all the credits, and then at the end of the credits, they got some kind of a scene. They did this very uniquely because once you start watching the credits roll, but the scene's playing behind it. So it's worth waiting for the credits and being able to watch these extra scenes that they're putting in there because it's not just, well, we got to watch all these credits and we got to sit here and wait until the scene shows up. They play them while you're there. And then there is one that you have to wait till the very end. So once you get down to the very end, then you've got one last one. But the ones beforehand, yeah, fantastic. And it was appropriate to keep them in there because it gives you something to watch while you're watching the credits.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah, I
it
did
was
like that too. The ending to me, um, I I th- I'm trying to.
it
I don't
just
want to give anything away, but the ending to me was kind of unique.
yeah.
You
It
know,
was a nice on the story. It really was. It was pretty cool.
and the fact that these writers, these two people, had to um, let me get their names again. It was where did they go? Nope, that's it. Sean Anders, and John Morris. They did a brilliant job with
Mhm.
writing this because they kept us interested. They stayed true to certain parts of the original
Yeah,
Christmas.
yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
um, they
So you,
stayed true to that,
yep.
but gave it enough unique twist. And I
Mhm.
think to tell it from the ghost perspective
Mhm.
was brilliant.
Yeah,
I know
it was
I've
pretty.
said brilliant several times throughout this conversation, but to me, that's brilliant. Who would have ever thought about telling it from their perspective? Like, oh crap, we got to do this again. We got to find somebody again. We got to look for somebody that's unredeemable again. But it worked.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really enjoyed
it,
it.
it,
It
it,
was, and even the dance numbers, Will
yeah,
Ferrell and both Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. Uh, was Octavia Spencer involved in some of those?
yeah. At the end of the movie, when they have a lot of stuff going on during, can't remember if it was really during the credits or before anyway. At the end, every character that really kind of did anything they show them in at least part of the dance numbers, which is nice too.
Yeah, it works really well because I think that the even Octavia Spencer sings in this
Mhm.
a few times, in which I think is pretty cool. I didn't know she sang, and she didn't have the greatest voice either,
She's awesome in anything
but she's
she does.
awesome in it. She carries it because
Yeah.
she sings very softly, so she sounds like she's having a conversation, but she's doing it with music.
Yeah. It was
So it kind
good.
of
I
works.
highly, highly, highly recommend this as an annual Christmas movie. Everybody watch
And there's little Easter eggs in it for references to
it. Yes.
other characters, we'll say,
Mhm.
in the show, which I think worked out pretty well. Um,
Yeah.
and both the I would say everybody the cast was really worked. The cast, the
Mhm.
whole cast, really worked.
Yeah.
Everybody really contributed to the outcome of this movie. It's not an Oscar winner, but it's not meant to be.
Yeah, probably not.
You know,
But
it's meant to be fun
it's a
and happy.
Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas
And
movie.
I think that I feel they probably created it with the intention of it being an annual Christmas movie that everybody watches, like Elf
Like
and
Elf,
like
yeah,
a Christmas
like a
and
Christmas story.
all of that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think everybody that's out there, you need to. I'm going to put a link in the show notes for the trailer, and then obviously it's on Apple Plus. So hopefully, those of you that are watching and listening, Apple Plus is a paid subscription. We are not an affiliate for that, but I would recommend that if you do not have Apple Plus, there's a lot of other shows on there that we watch that are really beneficial and we enjoy them. So that $6 a month really is worth it for us. But I would highly recommend, even if you get it for a month or two, you could rent a movie for $6. So you can use Apple Plus for $6 and watch this movie. And maybe you'll get hooked on the rest of the stuff that's on there, like the morning show and Ted Lasso and, the rest of them, which we've talked about before.
Can both of those please come back quickly? I'm dying. Anyway, yes.
So, any last thing, I mean, anything else that you think stuck out in this movie that we could tell people about other than the music and the love and the I almost said one word I probably shouldn't have said.
The
Um, the
humor's
humor.
there, good.
Yeah, subtle humor.
And I think if nothing else, you watch it for seeing the odes to other previous Christmas movies or um, just other things you'll recognize when you when you
And
see it.
I don't think Ryan Reynolds has ever been involved in a Christmas movie,
I
like
don't think so. But he
a
said
holiday
in the
movie like this.
yeah the interview I saw him, and I think he mentioned that he had never done a Christmas movie before. So
Well, and it works. I mean, they both did really well. And I like the fact that both these actors have been around for a really long time. We've watched both
mhm.
of them during their whole career. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, we watched when he was on Two Guys and a Girl.
Two guys, a girl, in a pizza place.
Oh, yeah. I think they
But it
knocked
started,
Pizza Place off,
yeah. Then they knocked it off like a
knocked
couple
off
seasons
Pizza
after.
Place, but Two Guys and a Girl, that's a long time ago. And, he always said that, I'm in this for the long run. And, some of the stuff that I mean, he's a megastar now in regards
Then,
to what he has created in his whole film career that he's developed since then. And he's a brilliant entertainer.
yeah,
Um,
he just who can't. I don't know of anybody who doesn't love Ryan Reynolds.
well, and the same thing with Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell, we watched. I mean, obviously, I think our first introduction to Will Ferrell was Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That was the first introduction, real introduction to Will Ferrell, and you didn't think he would be able to. Yeah, I keep flashing the old guy coming in the room.
What? Which one?
Well, this is a family show, so we won't say it all. But he played the old man that he'd walk and there's stuff hanging down by his ankle.
I don't remember it being he was an old man. I just remember him being in shorts.
There was one where he played an old man sometimes where we'll talk about it when the show's done.
Okay. Well, when I think of Will Ferrell and Saturday Night Live, I see him at the cheerleading duo with Sherry O'Terry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When they did that, yeah,
He's
that as well. You know, I watched Will Ferrell in a very serious movie where he was an alcoholic,
mm,
and he did really really well
I just did not watch that one.
in that. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, we started watching that show with him and Paul Rudd, um, the psychiatrist thing. I, we didn't finish it because I was just, I don't know, I couldn't get into it, and I love both of them. I love Paul Rudd and I love Will Ferrell. Could not get into it, and I don't know if it's because it was too serious for me. And
I thought that
I
was with.
I enjoy them so much as comedians that it was just weird.
I
I,
might have
I
to
think
cut.
I think it's on Apple Plus too. I can't remember what it's called. Um,
I know what you're talking about, and to be honest with you, I can't remember the exact name of it either. But
it was a
yeah,
series. Yeah,
yeah,
and
it's where he
uh-huh.
kind of assumed the identity of
Will Ferrell.
a psychiatrist or something, or
Well,
assume the identity of Will Ferrell. But
because he was Will Ferrell's psychiatrist.
yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting movie.
Um,
But he's had some serious parts, and I think that and obviously we've always known him to be really kind of wacko, like when he did Eurovision. Was it
mhm.
Eurovision or
Euro. Uh, yeah. Wait. Well,
Euro something or other? It's that big, huge European find the
the
next rock star
singing contest, and it was
worldwide contest,
uh,
which is a reality. It's true.
Ra- Rachel McAdams played his sister, and they were the duo. They went into the I think it was Eurovision.
Yeah, it might have been Eurovision. So, but so you get stuff that's really off the wall, wacko. In this particular case, he was kind of more relaxed.
Mhm.
I think more relaxed, more confident. Really wanted to tell the story. I think he's really come around. I think, and a lot of it, I think he said when in one of the interviews I had seen is because he knows his kids are going to see this too.
Yeah.
So he wanted to do something that his kids be able to watch and kind of be proud of, which is
I
pretty
feel like
slick.
full of jokes that were sort of more adult. I remember thinking, oh, I think kids are going to be watching this movie. I can't believe they.
Yeah, but at the same time, there really weren't as many. I All I know is I really enjoyed it, and we can go on and on about it. We can give away spoilers, but we're not going to give away any spoilers.
Oh,
I
no
would
spoilers.
for this over the teacup Sunday. I would absolutely, highly, 100% recommend watching this movie on Apple Plus. Even if you have to spend Apple Plus $5.99 for the month, it's worth the $6. And if you're there, you can stay for the other things that we love, like Ted Lasso and Morning Show and some of these other new things that are coming back on Apple Plus. And I appreciate Apple Plus giving us the promotional photos for this episode. So thank you very much for that. Um, any last words?
If any of you have not yet started to watch Ted Lasso or The Morning Show, get on it, please. You're missing out
We'll
on
have to do,
two amazing shows. Amazing.
we'll have to do a follow up on those.
Yes, when they come back.
As for As for Spirited, again, it is on Apple Plus. It came out the November 18th. You can watch it at your leisure. It stars Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds and Octavia Spencer and a whole slew of other individuals
Mm,
that create an ensemble cast of wonderful people that create a really nice new Christmas movie that I think we can add to our list of Christmas. Everybody's got their list. Everybody loves
mm.
Hallmark. We've got our own list.
Well,
And
we like we got into Hallmark movies last year actually, but they really are all the same.
yeah, it's the same cookie cutter. You know, you
Same
watch
plot.
same plot, same everything, just change the characters out. But
Some of them are cute.
this movie's a really nice twist, and it's told from a different perspective. And I think that you all should try it, and you can enjoy the Christmas movie just like we did.
Yep.
So, listen, I want to tell everybody, please do us a favor. If you like us, you love us, please subscribe and follow us. We have a shop, Before You Go podcast shop, SHOP. If you can help support us in this to keep us moving forward, we really appreciate it. We got a whole slew of new things coming up every Wednesday, new interviewees. We've got some psychics, and we have another one coming up about scalar energy and how it can help you to heal. And I mean, we've got a whole bunch of things. We talk about gray drinking with another person coming up, just for a little bit. There's that fine borderline between alcohol consumption from an alcoholic's perspective or that borderline area. And a bunch more. We've got new things coming up. If you notice, the artwork has changed a little bit. Some of our direction has changed a little bit, but we're doing that to kind of help you more and bring you more into the fold of One More Thing Before You Go, our family. So please, if you got the opportunity, find us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and every other platform that's out there. Like us, subscribe to us, comment. And if you want to reach out, Michael at onemorethingbeforeyougo.com if you've got a show idea or if you want to be on the show, if you've got something you want to talk about. Michael at onemorethingbeforeyougo.com or visit our website, beforeyougopodcast.com. Touch that little microphone at the bottom of the screen and then leave me a message. It'll get to me right away. So,
And give us suggestions of what you want us to talk about on a Sunday.
exactly. 100%.
We're open to suggestions.
In the meantime, everybody, I want to think I speak for Diana as well. Please have a very, very happy and safe Thanksgiving and enjoy your time with your family and your friends. And
Yep.
we'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of One More Thing Before You Go. Check out our website at beforeyougopodcast.com. You can find us as well as subscribe to the program and rate us on your favorite podcast listening platform.